This is lesson 1.3, multiplying decimals. Please get out your notebooks and copy the title of the lesson down and get ready to take some notes. Please copy these steps into your notebook, and you may need to stop the video in order to copy all this down. These are the steps on how to multiply decimals. Number one, you need to treat the number as whole numbers and multiply. So all you need to do is just ignore the decimal points when you're multiplying. Once you've multiplied and you've gotten your answer, you're going to count the number of decimal places to the right of the decimal point in each number, and then 3, you're going to move the decimal point to the left that many places in the answer. So let's try this example. 11 point, find the product, and the word product means the answer to a multiplication problem. So it's an answer to a multiplication problem. So we're going to take and multiply 11.4 times 3.6, and we don't have to worry about lining up the decimal points because we're just going to pretend like they're not there, and we're going to multiply like we normally would. 6 times 4 is 24, so you write down the 4, carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8, and 6 times 1 is 6. Since we're moving to the second digit, we put a 0 down and cross off that 2. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and 3 times 1 is 3. We have the numbers lined up nicely. Now we're going to add. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Carry the 1, and 3 plus 1 is 4. Now we're going to count how many numbers are after the decimal point. 1, 2. So there's 2 decimal places. Which means that we're going to move in the answer the decimal point 2 places to the left. So the answer is 41.04. Next, we're going to talk about the properties. Again, you do not have to copy down this box in your notes because, like yesterday, we're going to put this in a foldable when we're done with the lesson. So the 4 properties we're going to look at. The first one is the identity property of multiplication, and basically what that says is any number times 1 is going to equal that number. So 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 5 is 5. Or the algebra way of saying it is A times 1 is equal to A, or any number times 1 will be equal to A. The 0 property, what that says is any number multiplied by 0 is always going to be 0. So 5 times 0 is 0. And if we look over here at the algebra equations, it's A times 0 equals 0, or 0 times A equals A. The third property is the commutative property of multiplication, and it's exactly the same as the commutative property of addition. We just switch the order that the numbers are multiplied. So 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 5 is 10. It doesn't change the answer. Same thing here, we could have A times 2 equals 2 times A, or if we used all variables, A times B equals B times A. It doesn't matter what order you multiply numbers in. And then the last one, again, just like the associative property of addition, this is the associative property of multiplication. It's just how you group the numbers. So here we group 2 times 3 first, which is 6, and then 6 times 5, which is 30. But over here, we group 2 times 5 first, so we have 3 times 10, and 3 times 10 is 30. and those are equal to each other. So as you can see, it doesn't matter how you group the numbers, you're going to get the same answer. And this is just with variables, the quantity A times B times C, which is equal to A times the quantity B times C. So when are we going to use this? Basically, these properties are used to help us with mental math. So we're going to look for compatible numbers that when you multiply them together, they're going to equal 1, 10, or 100. Any power of 10 because it makes it easier to multiply. So when I look at this, I see that 2 and 0.5, they're going to give me the number 1. So I'm going to want to multiply those together first. So if I multiply 2 times 1/2 times 4.097, I multiply these together first, and I get 1, and then 1 times 4.097 is 4.097 because 1 times any number is that number. That way I didn't have to, otherwise I would have had to multiply 2 times 4.97 and then 4.97 times 5, and that would have been a lot of work. This just simplifies the multiplying process for you. Here's a couple problems. I'd like you to pause the video and try them on your own, and when you finish you can start the video and we'll go over them. Okay, welcome back. Let's see how you did. So we have 28 times 6/10. So we're going to ignore the decimal points and multiply. 6 times 8 is 48. So we have 8 carry the 4. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 4, which is 16. We have only one number after the decimal point, so I only need to move the decimal one place over. So the answer is 16.8. Let's try the next one. 4.6 times 3.91. What you might want to do first is you might write your problem like this. And remember, you don't have to line the decimal points up. But it's kind of hard when you have a number with more digits on the bottom than you do on the top. So we want to switch these around. So we don't want to multiply like this. We want to take the number that has the most digits and put it in on the top, and then the number with the only 2 digits or less digits in the bottom. Now we can multiply. Ignore the decimals. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 9 is 54, so we're going to write down the 4 and carry the 5. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 5 is 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Since we're going to the second digit, we're going to add a 0. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 9 is 36. We write down the 6 and we carry the 3. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. Now we're going to add these together. 6, 8, 9, 7, 1. How many decimal places did we move? There's 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal point, so that means we're going to move 3 places to the left. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3, which means that our answer is 17.986. That's it for today's lesson. If you have any questions, please bring them to class with you. Thanks. Have a great night.